say, obviously the pandemic has prevented, a larger scale in-person Comic-Con this year, but you both have been working throughout it as well. I know after filming the additional episodes for season 10, just how different was it coming back for season 11? I know the groups are still separated, but I'm sure on the set you were kind of able to start seeing more people again. Just what was that like for both of you?
Well, I just want to say, I mean, like, in terms of the direct comparison from the COVID episode, I couldn't even make it back to Georgia to film my COVID episode because we were so deep into the lockdown at that point. So, for me, getting over here to finally like start filming the final season was so emotional. I was so scared that it wasn't going to happen. So it made me all the more grateful to be able to be there with people in person and really doing, and everyone just being so respectful and safe and doing all the right things to make sure we can make the show happen. But I'll be honest, when do we come back? January? There's still some people I haven't seen in person.
Yeah.
Stupid Rona, just still keeping us apart. And that is strange.
Yeah. We're still slowly working our way. This pandemic just won't quite go away, and so we're still keeping up, our protocols. And the nice thing is that our production took it very seriously from the very beginning. And we haven't had the shutdowns that other productions have had. It's been tough to see your friends from across base camp, and you can't really, get to them. That there's some faces that I still haven't seen. These are people that I've been working with in production for years now, and I haven't seen them for years, and still haven't seen their face sometimes. Right. In all of this. So it's been tough and it's been difficult, and we're still working towards that normalcy. Thankfully we're doing a really extra long season. We're going to be shooting well into 2022, and so hopefully that means that we will eventually get back to normal, and and I'll be able to get uncomfortably close to everyone again.
And now, I did want to ask about some of the teases we have seen so far. As Eleanor mentioned before, a lot of the fans are really quick on that pause button. Yeah. And in one of them, we see Miko in a Commonwealth Guard uniform. Can you talk even a little bit about putting on the armor? Because I'm sure you can't get into the specifics of why you're wearing it, but, what was it like wearing it, and what can you tease about that?
I'm so glad you asked that, because I really need to tell you how uncomfortable that armor is. I feel like beauty as a citizen and a human being. Like, we've all had a tough 2020. We've come out of it, and now this. You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole situation where, like, it's all done in pieces, which you attach to yourself like Lego. So you have this kind of like all black body sock on underneath, and then you like stick on all these different like plastic compartments. And the helmet, it's a whole situation, and it is very difficult to sit down. Oh, it's also very difficult to see. I remember we were shooting one scene and it was so cold, the goggles steamed up. And I fully just walked into the wall.
Whoops.
And
I was just like, gone.
And despite all of that, she did it with such elegance. It pisses you off sometimes. I mean, I would not be surprised that just Eleanor putting on the uniform, there wouldn't be some kind of Charlie's Angels-esque montage of her getting on this thing and walking down the halls, like she's walking the runway. I get so tired of it.
You're being kind, but no one wants to see me put on that armor. There was a lot of expletives that came out of my mouth. So I'm trying to get the armor on the thing.
Well, you're pulling it off in the quick glimpses we have seen.
Yeah, thank you, dear. Thank you.
Yeah. Pulling it off is exactly what she was, excited to do that.
Ready to do.
Yeah.
And, in that shot too, I've read the comics. A lot of the fans, seem like she's looking at the Wall of the Lost, which sets up a pivotal arc for another character in the comics. Continuing to keep it vague, but do you feel maybe you were given a little bit more meat than usual this season as Miko? because of what may be coming.
I love how you phrase that. Yeah. The short answer to that is yeah, absolutely. I'm really, really excited and kind of humbled by the journey that Miko goes on this season. It's so unexpected. Yeah, no, it is unexpected because even though people sort of, you know, make certain guesses, it's still not all that it's going to be cracked up to be. As so often, you know, the show takes pieces from the comics and kind of twists it into its own thing. So, you know, there might be some similarities and there might be some differences, but it's definitely, I definitely do have a very huge kind of journey, like a real turnaround from like where I was to where I am now. I mean, everyone on this show, all the characters go through their ups and downs, of course they do, but this is a very sharp 180, I would say. You're gonna see a kind of transformation for Miko that is super surprising, very cool, but very, very weird.
All right.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome though. I'll just let you know that I enjoyed watching the journey so far, and I just remember. I think I remember, and this was also just not seeing Eleanor for so long, and then seeing her on set doing her thing. I felt like I think it was Josh McDermott and I, and we were both jumping up and down and screaming at Eleanor. I felt like, you know, like if I was at a I don't know what's the new boy band that's doing something these days, but it was, you know, both of us just jumping up and
BTS.
down. It's like yeah, we're just at a BTS concert, just like we love you. We love you. You know,
I will say one thing, which is I remember that day very specifically, and all I will say, I really don't think this is giving anything away, but like I walked in and Josh and Khary just both went, whoa, the noise that erupted from set was massive, and then they were like, what? Your shoes are too clean. They are too clean. They're too white. I don't like it. So
yes,
remember Khary saying that.
I have waking dreams about those shoes.
And, you know, I was gonna say, you know, with every new community that is introduced on this show, you know, I'm sure the Commonwealth comes with its own pros and cons. I'm curious for Ezekiel, you know, as he is continuing to battle cancer, there might be, you know, a possibility for treatment. But also, you know, nothing comes for free. Just what are you able to tease maybe in terms of that?
Nothing. Yeah, you sound like you know quite a bit. I feel like you've done all the research that's necessary to tune in Sundays at 9 to see what happens. So
the promo.
Yeah. No, you know, Ezekiel is you know, that there, like you said, there's nothing like the quite like the Commonwealth, you know, and we're going to see that there's something kind of lovely about the Commonwealth, and then you know, there's something very clean about it, and yet we all know that, you know, that dirt's got to get washed off. It runs off somewhere, you know. It doesn't disappear. You know, there's a pile of shit somewhere, you know.
There's always something.
You just got to follow that smell. So we'll I'm sure that we will you know, be looking behind, you know, I think of those old westerns that have the storefronts, you know,
the facades.
Yes, exactly. There are those facades, and then there's what's really happening just on the other side. So you know, we're going to be exploring, you know, that situation, and it's definitely going to be a roller coaster for Ezekiel. You know, it's going to be a ride that I'm excited to be taking and continuing to take. It's like I said, it's all of the angles, all of the different angles, the perspectives that we're going to be looking at and seeing from this season, I think are going to be surprising a lot of people.
And my last question I have for the both of you is, how are you preparing for your final episodes? I know you're only halfway through the season now, but how are you mentally preparing for that? And, knowing that there are these spin-off shows and movies in the pipeline, should your characters survive, would you be down to return in any of those as well?
Oh gosh, I haven't even. I don't want to think about the end in that way. I have always prepared myself. I've always prepared myself that nothing's promised, especially on this show. You could get that call at any time, and so the idea that it's actually coming to an end is somewhat comforting, in that you at least know that you're already near the finish line. There have been years of my life that it was like any minute now, any minute, that call's coming around the corner, and you could be gone. Now you know that even if the call comes, you're like, you know what, I just about made it to the end, and that's a pretty awesome thing. In this industry, to have worked on a show as long as I have, and I've only been on it for half as long as it's been,
right.
been around.
Well, I've been on it for a third of that time. I completely I always say that if I feel so honored to have made it to like this final season, and I feel in some ways like I've just arrived and I've just started. So I can only imagine what Khary, you must be feeling. I can only imagine what Melissa and Norman must be feeling. It's really been such a huge proportion of people's lives, been out here year in, year out doing it. And I'm already so invested, I mean, my entire family, we live in Georgia, and, this is what I do. And so I think the end, I'm definitely tuned into the sort of sadness and the poignancy around every moment. I've even started getting like a little bit like, and the hour-long drive I have to do to work and back. The other day I was like, you know what? I'm not going to be able to do this drive soon. Like little things like that. Like it's the drive I've like bitched about the entire time I've been here, and it's still kind of. It's going to be emotional for a lot of people, and I think so much also, particularly about the crew, because the crew work so hard and they are so excellent at their job, and some of them have been there since the beginning, and that this really is a family. That word gets bandied around a lot, but it is, and I'm thinking about them loads, and that's, I think I can understand what you were saying, like that's kind of where we're at the moment. We have to still finish this thing, so it's hard to talk about beyond that spin-off movies, because this right now still feels so huge.
We got such a long way to go just in finishing this story that I haven't. Maybe when we get into next year, January of next year, I'll start to peak a little more at the end, but that's going to be a lot of emotion. And I think we were having a conversation, Jeffrey and I, and we were, and I think Christian started crying, talking about how the end of the and we were like, we can't do this. We can't do this for a year and a half.
Too early.
Yeah. I was like,
early, man.
I just can't. Yeah, I was like, I think I'm emotionally putting it in a box to be opened at a later date. Because it's just it's gonna be a lot to when that box actually gets opened, Pandora's gonna beat the hell out of me.
Yeah, what I really hope is that we just sort of we finish up season 11 and we all just sort of go, hey, it's not goodbye, we'll just see you later, and that later is all of our cast at Comic-Con in person next year. That's my dream. That is truly my dream.
Manifest it. We'll put it out there.
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
Well, I hope to see you then. And thank you so much for talking to me today. Have a great time at Comic-Con at home. And we'll see the new season when it starts August 22nd. Have a good one.